Today, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at GM's 2019 Intellilink system, and the changes they've made from 2018 are absolutely insane. So let's check it out. If you're looking for tech reviews that give you the information that you actually care about, then hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. So if you're looking at or about to buy or have already bought a 2019 GM and you're here to check out to see what this system can do, a lot has changed, let me tell you. I had a 2004 Toyota and the radio itself was just a radio. You might have had navigation on it, but that was it. Radios today control everything in your car. From locking your doors, no longer do you have to open the door, put your foot on the brake, close the door, turn the key halfway, open the door and close it. It's all done through your radio. And it's not even really a radio, it's an Intellilink system. And today, that's what I'm going to show you guys as far as how all this works and what it does for your vehicle. So compared to 2018, the system has had a complete overhaul when it comes to the look. Now, there are a lot of things that are the same on the system itself, so if you're coming from something a little bit older, it won't be that much of a change. However, if you're new to this, hang on, we'll go ahead and take a look at everything for you. First things first, gone are all the colors from the 18. You have a much more sterile looking setup here, and everything, again, is the black and white. They do have your audio and your phone with a little color around it on the sides there. However, that is pretty much it when it comes to that. Your stereo itself has changed a little bit from the look. Gone is the system that was on the bottom. When you were doing your channel settings here, you would have it down here. Now they have it all across the top, which in my opinion, I actually liked it better down the bottom because you would typically set your hand here and you would go ahead and set where you want to set. Now, this of course has changed as well, being able to look at your sounds. You did have all that on the system before, but it just looks a little bit different and how you want to go ahead and search through your systems. But it's nice that you can actually just manually go through, and it's real easy to reach as far as what you're looking for when it comes to going through channels. If you have Sirius XM, same thing goes for regular radio. You can browse through the channels that way, and it will go through, and that way you know where it is that you're looking for. But I'll be completely honest with you, I don't know a whole lot of people that still listen to regular radio, but it's there if you use it, and it's pretty much set up for you on how you can use the stereo itself. Going back to the home screen, the phone. A lot of us plug our phones into the systems themselves, so you can still use it if you don't use Carplay or Android Auto. It can be hooked up via Bluetooth, and we can show you that in a minute as far as that is all set up and how that works. You do have a Wi-Fi hotspot in here where you can turn it on and link up to the system on there. That is an additional service that you do pay for. I have it in my truck. It's $10, I believe, or $20 extra a month. But it's nice if you got someone in the car that has Wi-Fi only, like on a tablet, they can sync up to your system and use it on there. And it's unlimited for that plan. So new in 2019 is users. This will actually allow you to go in and create a different profile for each driver, primarily set for the keys that you use. So you get 2 keys for the vehicle. If you or your wife or your husband are going to be sharing the vehicle, that way you can go in and create your own profiles, from allowing you to your favorite settings, your climate settings, your seat settings, all that sort of stuff will be created via that profile, and it is there for you to do that. It's actually pretty cool. I only drive my vehicle, so this isn't something that I necessarily need, but it is there, and if you want to see more on it, comment down below and I'll do a separate video on it for you. Next is my favorite, the settings. Now, I went over this a lot in my vehicle, and again, a lot has changed from 17 and 18 till now. Gone is just the one full system. Now they actually have it separated into the system, your apps, and the vehicle setups themselves. In the system itself, you have the ability to go in and set time. You can automatically set it. You can set it up preferred for the time zone that you're in. If you're a 24-hour format person, you can go ahead and do that. Language, they have English, Espanol, and Francais. Phones, you can go ahead and bring in different phones as far as what's added to the car. And that starts with your Bluetooth system, and we'll get into more of that in a minute. Wi-Fi networks, depending on where you're at, you can actually sync up to local Wi-Fis if they are available for the truck itself. But let's say you want to use your phone to get to your Wi-Fi network, you can go ahead and do that. Next, you have the ability, the system does have that Wi-Fi hotspot that we talked about. This is just a different way to get into it. A little bit redundant as far as how they use it, but it is in there if you want to set it up. Next, you have your privacy, which allows you to go in and change your vehicle being tracked by location services or vehicle recognition sharing. Now, this is important because if you have OnStar, this is something that you're going to want, because this is how OnStar is going to find your vehicle if you get in an accident or the vehicle stolen. But there are tons of features in here that allow you to go in and adjust how you want things set up and how you want access limited or not limited to whatever device you're using on the system. There is so much on here. If you want me to go into that separately, comment down below specifically, and I'll do that. But there are a lot of things in here as far as privacy is concerned when it comes to you using your vehicle. From turn to turn, a subscription manager, just a whole bunch of things that you can turn on and turn off so somebody can't plug their phone in, sign up for something through GM, because you do have a lot of access via that, downloading apps via directly from the GM itself. But like I said, it's a lot to go over. If you want to see that separately, let me know. Next up, we have display, and you can go in and change the mode for day and night, or you leave it as auto. As obviously the sun sets and it gets a little darker, it will blacken everything out so you're not bright blasting in your eyes as you're trying to drive. But during the day, you don't want it necessarily to be dark so you can see everything. Calibrate your screen, and of course you can turn off your display. Next is sounds. You can go in and maximum startup volume is always very important. You don't want to get in your vehicle and get blasted out. I have mine set the exact same way, just right in the middle there, but you might be someone that likes to have that turned down so you don't blast your ears out depending on what it is that you're playing. Audible touch feedback, this is turned off on here, but if you have that on there, it will actually start playing noises in different apps, as far as it'll tell you specific sound plays when you touch the screen. I don't like that, so I actually have that turned off on my vehicle as well. Next is voice controls. You can actually set it up because you do have the ability to talk to your radio and not your phone on here, and it will give you prompts, and you can set it up. If you like to have more confirm or less confirm, you want prompt length, if we'll do short, informative, it'll tell you everything that you need to know. If you want it off, audio feedback speed, which will, again, voice recognition system as it speaks. If you're someone that likes to hear that, friendly prompts, more friendly, select on, select off. Again, this isn't something that I use, but if it is, you can set it up through here. They got tutorial mode set on it right now. You can allow prompt interruptions on that, so I guess you can stop it from doing its thing. So next is your favorites, and that is the bar across the top of your system, depending on basically your presets, and you have the ability to do audio, where you can set up there. You have favorites on your phone, as well as the navigation favorites, depending on how you want to set that up. But you can set that up in here, and it doesn't tell me how many it will allow. Maybe it'll down here. There you go. Same thing as my truck. You have the ability to do 40 set favorites. I don't know who has 40, maybe you do, but I think the most I use is 10 or 15. But it is in there if you have a specific number of stations that you want to set up. With any system that's heavily relied on software, they do have updates, and it will go ahead and check those updates for you. Looks like it was done on the 5th, and now it's done on the 12th. There are no updates. Every once in a while, I will get an update on mine, but it is available, and you do have to be connected to the internet. So if you have to do Wi-Fi hotspot off your phone to update that, that is something that's very important, or you take it back to the dealer and they'll do it for you. Now, preferences is important because if you do want your updates to happen automatically, you can turn that on. Again, if you have the Wi-Fi available in your vehicle, it will be able to do that. If you don't, it's not going to work for you as well. Your about, of course, just talks to you about your build number, your open source software, device registration, not really something that you need a whole lot of. Running applications, you do have the ability to have applications running. You can stop them. You have your apps, your audio, and your camera. It'll tell you how much you have available, because you can download apps directly to the system itself, not necessarily CarPlay apps. Of course, if you're going to be turning your vehicle in, you can go ahead and return to factory settings. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is apps, which should be fairly quick. Android Auto, you can turn it on and off if you want someone to plug in that has Android. Same thing with CarPlay, you can turn it on and off. You do have the ability to download apps. You can update them automatically. You can talk about each app depending on if you're a terms of service kind of person. To be completely honest with you, if you don't agree with the terms and service, you can't use it. So that's up to you. When it comes to your audio, you do have the ability to do your tone settings, set up your bass, your mid-range, and your treble. Looks like someone's having fun in here already. I did not do that. And you have the ability for your speakers to be able to be stronger towards the front, the sides. If you do anything else other than move it to the front because you have a child in the back, That's all you should be doing it for. Don't touch your sound. It should be in the middle. You do have your auto volume, which will go ahead and adjust the radio based on your vehicle speed. So if you're going faster or slower, you can have it go higher or medium. I don't have this on the 17, so this is something that is new. Very, very cool to do that. My wife's 07 has this, and I wish I had it in my 17. Very cool. Managing your favorites, again, a little bit redundant. They have the same thing there. Set the number of audio favorites, again, a little bit redundant. I guess they have it in the same spot for some reason. RDS is for your AM, FM. It will allow you to get information about the songs and ads that are going through based on your display that you have. You can turn on HD radio if that's something that you are signed up for. Explicit content filter, very interesting. I would never have that turned on. And you can reset your music index, which allows you to clear out all of your information that you have, which, you know, again, unless you're selling the vehicle, you probably don't need to do. So unfortunately, next, I do have to start the vehicle, so I apologize in advance for things like that. So we have next the climate control, which again, you can't have the system on without doing that. And you can pick your auto speed, high, low, medium, depending on when you start your car, which is always nice. Auto defog and auto rear defogger, which is always nice. Leave those on. Again, you don't have to worry about turning them on. Next, you can take a look at your phone, and this will allow you to show what you want to show on the system when you're hooking up via Bluetooth or even on your Carplay or Android Auto, and it will set everything up the way that you want it. First name last name first. Syncing phones, delete all phone contacts if you have things downloaded to it. OnStar, that way you can disable it and turn it on as you need. You have apps that you're downloaded. It'll tell you what's on there. My GMC, which is an app specific for GMC vehicles that you can access, which I suggest to do that through your phone and not necessarily through this. It's just not that great. And downloaded apps notification, which you can't get into. It's just letting you know that it's downloaded. Next, we have vehicle settings, which is my favorite portion of the Intellilink system. And we're going to leave the vehicle running because you do need to have this on for some of this stuff. Rear seat reminder, always have that turned on. Again, if you have a child, you better be looking to make sure that they're in the back before you get out. Climate and air quality, same thing, a little redundant as the information for the climate control on the other screen. Collision detection system, if you have these on your vehicle, leave them on. I know very well from fact that I did not have mine on one time, and I wish I did. So, food for thought. But those are all set up, and I suggest you always leave those on because they help tremendously. Next, you have your comfort and convenience, and you can do chime there. Changed from 2017 and 18. There was a lot more in there, and they broke it up between these different settings as far as what they have. Lighting, you can do the vehicle locator lights on when you exit the vehicle, as well as how long your lights will stay on. Especially when it's dark out, it's nice to give you some time to get to where you're going, to have the vehicle lights on, and that way you can see. Next, we have your power door locks, which all this was under the vehicle convenience stuff, by the way, in the other years. You do have the ability to have the open door lockout. This will allow you to basically have a door open. You cannot lock the vehicle. I have this on my truck because there are times when my door is not closed all the way because of my daughter, and that way I know I need to go check it because the vehicle will not lock. Next, you have the auto door unlock. I have it just to my driver door because you hit it once, it just unlocks the driver's door. And especially if you're alone, you don't want all your doors to open up so somebody can jump in from the other side. Just a personal preference. Delayed door lock, if you want to turn that on and you hit your lock on your door, get out, close your door. I think it's about 5 to 10 seconds, but that will allow the door to remain unlocked. So if you need to quick get back in as you lock it or you forgot something, you can open the door back up. Otherwise, it'll lock in about 5 to 10 seconds. Remote lock, unlock, and start, something that's my favorite. Remote unlock, light feedback. You can do your flashing lights. You can have horn feedback with horn and lights, lights only, horn only, or turn it off. Remote door unlock, it'll unlock all doors or driver's door. Again, I just do driver's door because I'm usually by myself. Remote heat auto seats, and if you have cooled seats, you can turn both of those on, thanks to the folks in the other video letting me know that based on the weather, if you have both of those turned on, your system will do it for you. However, if you have a warm day in the middle of the winter, you don't necessarily want cooled seats. So That would be a reason why I would change it each season, but that is up to you. Remote window operation, you can have this ability to hold your key and the windows will go down, but you can't put them back up. Something that I've always had a problem with GM, but what are you going to do? Passive door lock, you can go ahead and do it on with a horn chirp or just on, and that way you walk away and you'll know that your door is locked. I think that's something that is very important to have on. Remote left in vehicle alert. We've done this already a couple times today where we left a vehicle and the keys were in the car. It will double beep if you leave the keys in the car. Leave that on. Very, very important, especially because these vehicles are keyless and you just have the remote itself, have it in your pocket, the car will start. If you throw it down and you forget to leave it in your car, it will let you know. Very, very important. Teen driver, if you have somebody driving your truck, I will never allow my daughter to drive my truck. However, if you are someone that allows it, you can set up a PIN, and this will let you do a myriad of things, such as limit the speed they can go, where they can go, you'll be notified that they're doing it, stations that they can listen to, apps they can access. There is a whole bunch of stuff on there. Valet mode, again, they can't access your radio. I've never used valet in my life. Maybe you will, I don't know. That's up to you. Something also that is new is the ability to take a look at your trailering. This will allow you by yourself to cycle through your lights if you want to make sure that they work. Park your vehicle to use this feature. I hope you're parking your vehicle and not trying to do this while you're driving. That would be bad. And moving on, we have the ability to look at your apps, which we talked about earlier. You can go ahead and download a number of different apps that are free. So if you're a Pandora user, Spotify, you don't need your phone. You can actually download these right to the system itself and log on. Some things that I think are pretty cool is the Weather Channel, Fox Sports. I do have that on my radio. I don't use them a whole lot, but they are there if it's something that interests you. And if you have apps that are currently downloaded, it'll tell you how many you've used and how much space you have left. We have Onstar Services. If that's something that you are set up, you can go ahead and access all of that and set that up. You do have a button up top, but it will allow you to go through. If you don't have it, you can check out the packages that are available, see how much it will cost if it's something that you want, as well as your Wi-Fi hotspot. You can use that, cancel it, add it. Maybe if you're going on a trip, you can add it. You don't have to do it. It's only month to month. Next, they do have a climate function here, which I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know if it's something that I would necessarily use, but everything that is on this screen right now is also down below in all button form. So if you're someone that likes to have it in front of them, certainly you can do that. You can lower, you can raise it, you can unsync it so the person that is sitting in the seat next to you can go ahead and change theirs if they want to. Same thing goes for where the air is blowing. If you want it to blow on the window and you, or you want it to blow on you, you can change all of that stuff up here. You can speed the fan up, you can lower it. Again, all these functions are down below. Now, the one consideration I would say for this is if it's a little less travel for your eyes off the road, that would be the only reason why I think that's something that you would want to do. But it's preference. It's there if you want to use it. For me, I like the knobs down below. You can go ahead and move them and change them as you need. Same thing with the auto, the sync, and all that sort of stuff. I just like having that in front of me. But again, that's all preference. That would be the only reason why I'd be less off the road to be able to see that personally. Next, you have your ability to choose your cameras. Now, if you've got front cameras or under mirror cameras, those will all be there as well. But this will allow you to line up to, if you want to hook up a trailer or something, and this is for backing up. This will actually move when you turn the wheel, and that way you know which way the back end is going to go. So it's a little bit easier for you to park. You want to do that? Get out of it. Just go ahead and hit home. Can you stop calling me? Stop calling me on the phone, you motherfucker. And of course you have your My Gmc app, which is the app which I suggest you access that on your phone. And of course at the bottom here, of course at the bottom you do have shortcuts to a bunch of different things. If this had navigation, which oddly enough this vehicle does not, but most vehicles do have navigation on it, this will take you to OnStar. You can access your phone and you can go right to your music, or you can hit home. Of course you got your temperature down there and your time, and if you do have LTE, it is accessed on there, and your location services is on. The next thing I want to talk about is Bluetooth on your phone. And a lot of people asked this in the last video as far as how do I connect my device? And you know what? It is pretty simple. You're just going to go ahead and hit connect. And if you want to add a phone, we'll go ahead and do that. And select a phone shows up on your vehicle's Bluetooth listing. So let's go ahead into my Bluetooth settings here. So you simply just wait for it to show up. Click My GMC down there. That will go ahead and click to it. It's going to give you that pair. You pair that number. There you go. They match. And you're going to hit pair at the bottom of the screen. And boom, it's connected. So now the phone is connected. You allow your contacts if you want to. I don't want to do that because this isn't my vehicle. But you do now have outgoing and incoming calls through your phone itself. That is about it as far as setting that up. Now, as far as audio or anything like that, you do have the ability to use this as your Bluetooth phone. So if you have any music that's playing on here, you can actually play that through your phone now. And again, just via Bluetooth on there. It's not as fancy as CarPlay, but if you're someone that doesn't want to use either, boom, you're set up. You can go in and you can actually browse through your music that's on your device, and you're all pretty much set up. So that is basically that in a nutshell and how to set it up. Very easy. So let's go ahead and jump into CarPlay a little bit. Once you go ahead and plug your device in, it will recognize it and actually say third-party apps, blah, blah, blah. Disable CarPlay if you don't want to use it. Continue. Now I'll go ahead and search for the phone. You go ahead and ask you if you want to do it while the phone's locked, which you do. CarPlay will pop up and it will bring up your CarPlay. Voila. Now, based on what version of iOS you are on, this may look a little bit different. They have changed it, and I'm going to go over this in a video coming down the road very soon. And again, if you're someone that doesn't necessarily like to use the apps on the system itself, you're an Android user or a CarPlay user, you do have the ability to have a number of your apps on there, and you can use those through your car, and it is all available to you. If you like to use maps, well, I don't like to use those maps. I like to use Google Maps, and it lets you to access on there, and you can pretty much do what you need to do. We're not driving at the moment, so you have a lot more functionality. When you are driving, you do have to do it via voice. If you want to get back to your apps, hit the bottom there. If you want to get into your multiplay, this will allow you to look at your maps. You can go home, you can see what's playing, and you have your calendar. So that's actually really cool added functionality to the system if you have it set up so much that you're able to do that. Some people will have Spotify. It usually doesn't show up there if you use Spotify. It's just the onboard apps that have the functionality. So it may not be as useful for you to have that open. But the one big thing that is very, very important to me with iOS 13 is the fact that if you go into your phone, it will not go out when you're using the device. So you can see there, if I'm going to go into Chrome, it doesn't take it off of Maps. In iOS 12, it would take that off of Maps and you weren't able to use it at the same time. When you're driving, no. But when you have someone in the car that might be hooked up to it, it's nice to not have this go away when you're trying to use it. So that's CarPlay. I can go into that much more in depth if you want to. Comment down below if you want to see that, and I can show you guys exactly how that works in an in-depth video. In the meantime, if you want to go ahead and check out what happened in 2017 in this very same system, go ahead and click that video up right here. If you guys want to check out more content from the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, you guys take it easy. Have a great day.